Hello and welcome to One North Main, BCA's magazine show where we highlight the people, places, and events that make this city, our city, great. We're going to take a little road trip today. We're going to check out some of the great institutions and the great activities happening in our city of champions. Hop on board, follow me, and see what your community has to offer. We are finally here, the Council on Aging, one of my favorite places in Brockton, and one of my favorite people, the Executive Director, Janice Fitzgerald, is inside. We're going to go in and have a chat with her and learn about all the great things that have been happening at the COA. Follow me. Our seniors do rock. We're waiting for Executive Director Janice Fitzgerald, who's busy working with some seniors, along with her cohort, Michelle Brace. Janice!
Hi, Jay.
Oh, thanks for coming out. I'm wonderful. How are you doing?
Good, thank you.
Good. You've had a busy period of time at the Council on Aging. 2013 was the year of elder abuse prevention. You carried that over into 2014. You had an elder abuse awareness march in partnership with the Old Colony Elder Services. You do your senior picnic annually, and you do so much more for the seniors. Recently, you had a wonderful event. It was a discussion on dementia with Dr. Ackle and former co-host of Chronicle, Mary Richardson. Tell us about that.
Well, let me first say that everything we do here is a team effort. It takes more than just one person to do what we do every single day, every single week of the month. But the presentation with Mary Richardson was awesome. We had probably 100-something folks came in. I was a little starstruck because Mary Richardson is my idol. But she did a great presentation with Dr. Ackle. They talked about signs of dementia. We had a discussion at the end of the presentation, so it really was a great presentation here at the center.
I picked it up and I put it on my shoulder and I started to walk out the door. And this man says, hey, that's my wife's purse that you have. I was completely mortified, and it was even worse when I looked down because I had this woman's purse on this shoulder and my purse on this shoulder. Talk about embarrassing. The newspaper headline sort of flashed through my head. Chronicle anchor down on her luck, robs unsuspecting woman.
Recent study that was done in Germany and the United States shows that with reduction of cholesterol, with patients watching their blood pressure vigorously, watching their cholesterol level, and probably taking an aspirin and a few antioxidants, makes a significant difference and a decline in the incidence of Alzheimer's. Now, 1 out of every 8 persons after 65 develop a significant dementia, 1 out of 8. But that can be significantly reduced with watching the diet, certain foods that we have to stay away from, and also exercise, and also brain exercise is important. Not to be isolated, continue to read, to communicate, to be very active.
We know there is no known cure, but if you suspect that you have it or someone in your family is coming down with it, almost like a disease, is there reason to go and be examined and be tested, and is there any way to slow the development?
I think that if there is the usual issues that you said was the usual is you get older, people get busy, they start to forget names, they forget tests. But if you find the person is not able to function, that they're not able to independently take care of themselves, which they were able to do before, not able to make decisions, not able to handle their finances, and you go to the home and the home's a mess and they're not well kept and they don't take care of themselves, that needs to be investigated. Because there are causes of dementia that are not related to Alzheimer's. Patients need to be evaluated to be sure that they don't have a brain tumor, that they don't have a lot of cerebral vascular disease that causes that, to be sure that they don't, there's another entity called normal pressure hydrocephalus, which can mimic it. These are treatable causes. And then you do the chemistry to be sure they're not deficient in B12, folate, thyroid. There's a whole series of things. So if there has been a change to that order, where that person who was functional is no longer functional, they need to be evaluated. You'll be shocked to see the number of people who have parents or grandparents, or even siblings, who have a certain degree of dementia that require help. So it's a very common problem now.
So it's nothing to be ashamed of.
No,
It's something to
absolutely not.
get off your
No.
feet and see if you can
The
find help.
other thing that we keep in mind is that these patients who have dementia, who develop dementia, doesn't mean that they're non-functional. I have patients that I've been following for a while now who has significant dementia, but he's a math professor, and he still functions as a math professor, and he teaches calculus. Now, he may have trouble remembering where he put his car, he may have trouble remembering what he had for breakfast, he has difficulty at times taking his medicines, but he can teach calculus. So the things that go that are lost are the new things. The old things stay. So if you talk to these people, they still have those skills, and they still have that knowledge, and they still have that wisdom. So we shouldn't just write them off. That elderly people sometimes don't have don't have the opportunity to communicate back and forth with their peers. They're surrounded by people who are much younger, who have very different attitudes, very different interests, and so it's lonely. And I think that a lot of times that they'll regress and go to stay by themselves because they can't communicate with these kids, because it's different. They have different interests and different system of values. So it's important that elderly people have the ability to communicate with each other and their peers.
We are considering starting an Alzheimer's support group here at the center. So we feel that the caregivers need some help and assistance, and I heard that in the conversation today. So keep an eye on your newsletters, and you'll see when we start that. And then the next one, I have to think of how to word this properly in a question. Dr. Ackel, would you agree that coming to the Council on Aging is the best thing for people to do to keep their minds going?
You know, as I said earlier, I think that these programs are crucial. Many of these elderly people, without programs like this, are totally isolated, and depressed, and then, you know, they don't function. It's certainly, and then the other thing which is very important, when patients come here, okay, the visitors come here, you quickly pick up who's been taken care of, who's not taken care of, who's malnourished, and you hear stories. Then you can intervene. It's very important. We don't have any other option in society to do that right now. They're very important. It's very necessary. Because people, elderly people sometimes are abandoned. They're alone, especially if they don't have family. But here is a place where they can come with a certain safety. People will look after them and tell them, look, you need to go to the doctor, or call the authorities and say, this person is living alone. He doesn't have heat in his apartment, or he doesn't have running water. So that's very important.
Brockton High School football is well underway this season, and the Boxers are off to a great start. However, I did bring my helmet, and I'm going to have to show these lads what football is all about. Yeah!
Okay, Williams hands it out straight ahead. He's got a big hole there. Number 27. He's breaking tackle, still going. He could go all the way, and it is touchdown.
Touchdown, Brockton.
There's a snap. The kick is high, but it's a little short. And they're going to let that bounce a little bit. And Keith takes it right there. Goes to the left-hand side. Tried to use his speed. Goes to the outside. He's got an opening. There he goes. 40, 30. Finally pushed out of bounds. And Williams hands it off to Kerry. Again, there he's Bernard. That's number 23, breaking tackles, and the ball is down.
I foresee an Aaron Williams quarterback keeper into the end zone right here.
Okay. Right now, you're 1 for 1 on predicting. Let's see what happens. And he keeps it. And does he push it in?
Sure looks
Yes,
like
he does. Touchdown. Aaron Williams hands off to the big man. There he goes, rumbling, bumbling. Coach Colombo's got him working on both. This quarterback moves out. He feels the pressure. Still feels it through and smartly gets to the end zone. Touchdown!
Wide open touchdown, Brockton. What a play from Aaron Williams. Buying time.
Go Boxers! The only thing hotter than the football team right now is the Lady Boxers soccer team. They are simply on fire.
To Caruso in the middle, nice little touch with the shot, and it goes in. Great finish by Caruso. Gets past the second defender to the middle. Oh, and a beautiful one-timer there. Very, very nice save by Shaylin Carrero. And a long shot. What a goal! That was something out of FIFA. She's got a runner on the right side. Will she take it or take it herself? She shoots and she scores.
Very good skills and, again, working well as a team.
You said it, moving the ball from player to player and knowing when to hold it, knowing when to get them away. As a deflection here by the Boxers, a shoot and a score. Jamari Johnson, the left-footed howitzer, past the goalie, Carrero. And this one is getting away from the Hilltoppers quickly as it's now 4-1 Lady Boxers. The girl wonder for the Brockton Boxers as she takes it to the right with a nice touch. Got a lane, and that's a hat trick for Caruso. Runs between two defenders, steals the ball. She's on the run again, shoots, and she scores a fourth goal. Can you believe it?
And the boys soccer team is built on their success from last year to run roughshod through eastern Massachusetts.
Oh, great header. Here's an opportunity for the Boxers.
Shot.
Oh, what a great goal. What a great goal. That goal's going to be number 22, Victor Rodriguez. 38-19 to go.
Kick, good heel turn.
Great heel touch. This is almost like a corner kick. Nice job. Nice save by Colin Frederick. Don't get space. Oh, great ball to Junior. Great ball to Junior. Oh, what a save.
The referee looking at the watch.
Joe Cruz gets a foot on it. Nelson Gomes sends it and deflected by Norwell.
Brockton High School student athletes weren't the only ones having fun at Marciano Stadium. Brockton's inaugural Cup of Nations took place where adults from across the region competed and had some fun. We're at Brockton Day Nursery. They recently celebrated their 120th birthday. That's an incredible accomplishment. To put it into perspective, Coca-Cola sold their first soft drink in a bottle 120 years ago. The Republic of Hawaii was proclaimed. It wasn't even a state. What a glorious institution this city has. There have been many people that have come through their doors and many people that have made an impact. Let's listen to what they had to say.
Happy 120th birthday, Brockton Day Nursery.
Brockton Day Nursery is a precious institution. It was one of the early day nurseries, basically for institutions, large manufacturing institutions, to provide services for children of working mothers, basically. It is still, to this day, an agency that provides services to children of working mothers and after-school services.
We have wonderful staff. I myself have only been here 3 years, but I've got staff that have been in this organization since 1978, and the longevity of our teachers is about 12 plus years right now, and you can't get better than that.
I
I started in Brockton Day Nursery in 1987, part-time, working at this second site, St. Coleman's, as part-time in the kitchen, passing out lunches, breakfast lunches and snacks to the preschoolers and kindergartners. I took a job November 9th in 1987 as a full-time assistant teacher. In 1988, I became teacher qualified and moved up and became a teacher of the program. In 1997, I got my associate's degree paid for by Brockton Day Nursery in 1997 and became a school-age group leader. In 2008, I got my bachelor's degree and I am the assistant director at Brockton Day Nursery, and in 2010, I attained my master's degree. So what Brockton Day Nursery means to me is, as I said in the beginning, family, education, career lateral moves.
Many of the staff who I worked with over 20 years ago are still working for the Brockton Day Nursery, and some of their children are working for the Brockton Day Nursery. Many of the staff that were teachers when I was there have now gone on to get college degrees and are administrative and supervisory staff as well. So it's a combination of providing care and providing job opportunities for advancement for working mothers.
I think one of my favorite quotes is the African proverb, and it's splattered all across my classroom, and it takes a village to raise a child. And that's exactly what I feel Brockton Day Nursery offers. The village is comprised of the beautiful children and the wonderful parents and the teaching staff and administration, where we just come collectively together to just make sure the children have positive learning experiences, where they're, some of our goals for my classroom is always teaching children to learn to love and to love to learn. I think when we instill those basic things in children, like Brockton Day Nursery does, we're setting a wonderful tone for their future.
The one main thing that I've seen is that Brockton Day Nursery's roots are very deep. And I've seen that it's such a big family. I just noticed just all the different scenarios of, like, it's not just, a place where you work. It's somewhere you come and it's like you're hanging out with people. I mean, of course, work gets done. The children are well taken care of, but it's a family. I mean, to come in, and yes, it's stressful working with children, but when you come in and when you can come in and just laugh and joke and still get your work done and really still get paid for it, it's an amazing experience.
Friends, family, teachers, thank you so much for sharing this special night with us. We have learned so much in preschool, like our alphabet, shapes, and numbers, and to share and work together. I will always remember that preschool was about learning to love and loving to learn. As we prepare to go to kindergarten, I'm happy for this new adventure, but I'm sad to say goodbye to the Brockton Day Nursery preschool graduating class of 2014. I believe you fly. Thank you. I love you, Mom, sisters. Thank you.
During my travels, I was in the mood to take a walk down Brockton's memory lane. And the only place to go for Brockton's rich history is the revamped Brockton Historical Society.
Everything that's old is new again. This is the grand reopening day, and I'm so pleased that we're getting so many folks that have not been here stopping by, and the importance is to recognize that this is a jewel of the city. It has the great care taken by the Historical Society over a long period of time. But we've now freshened everything up and changed it around. It's new, even though it's old, and the reception pleases me beyond words. The tomorrows are brighter because of the interest that we've got here today.
Well, thanks for being here today. This is our grand reopening after a lot of work that we've done here in the last several months. As you mentioned, we finally got the building painted. It's in pristine condition. Inside the building is the history of the fire service from back in the hand tub area of Civil War time, 1860. We have hand tubs here from the Enterprise, which was in Campello. We have the hand tub that was downtown, which was the Protector 3. Both of them in very good condition, and there are very few communities that can boast having some original fire equipment from back at Civil War time.
Well, this has a lot of Brockton history to it. It's a Stoughton truck. It's a 1928 Maxim. They were built in Middleborough, Massachusetts, and yesterday, as we taped this, yesterday was the 100th anniversary of Maxim Fire Apparatus in Middleborough, Massachusetts. So we went to an event and we had over 50 old Maxim trucks dating back from the early 1900s to the last one that they built. I was a member of the Board of Selectmen at the time, I am now, and went to an event and saw the name, Stoughton's name on the truck and thought, wow, what a great thing that somebody has that old antique truck and they put Stoughton's name on the hood. And then when I met Bill, found out the history of it, and right then and there, and you remember Bill, great guy.
Sure do.
Bill says, Joe, if I ever leave this truck, he says, it's got to go back to Stoughton. It belongs there. And that was a testament to both Howard and Bill's memory that they were, historians, firefighters, proud Brocktonians, and they honored the history call as well as the firefighting call.
Unbelievable change of all of our artifacts. I'm very, very impressed. Carl Landerholm has done a terrific job. And I also saw Nicole Casper from Stonehill. She's participated with us, and she's very talented. And together, the place looks completely different, completely different. I mean, people should come to the Historical Society. If they ever came before, it's all changed with the displays. It's very impressive. People in Brockton and the surrounding towns, I hope, understand what kind of a cultural and history we have here in Brockton.
Come up and see it. I mean, the exhibits are set up in a way that it tells a story. It doesn't just tell a story of Brockton and the shoe industry. I mean, Christo's is in there when you walk in, and it's, I mean, the whole setup is just beautiful. My hat's off to everybody that did this. Of course, Carl Landerholm, Jim Benson, Kenny Galligan. I mean, it's not just the historical side. You have the Fire Museum as well. It's a win-win for Brockton. It's just a great day for Brockton as well. You look at history, specifically here, local Brockton history, and you see, the shoe industry and, of course, our great public school system, and you can look at different venues. You can look at the extracurricular activities, sports history here in Brockton. You have such a plethora of just great historical things. I mean, in there you see presidential visits to the city, from Carter to Roosevelt to Nixon to Kennedy to Truman. I mean, they came here. Brockton has always been an important, of course, factory-based shoe industry. But now, Mark, I think if you come up here and you get a really feeling of what Brockton was and what it can be, it's really just a great thing. And again, I encourage everybody to come up here because you're missing the boat if you don't come up here.
I am no chef. However, I did run into some Brockton students this summer that put on a cooking clinic. They had their own version of Chopped. They had to make cupcakes, they were under pressure, and they were judged. Let me tell you, these kids were cool customers. Let's check it out.
My name is Sandy Cowell. I'm the manager of the Plymouth Cafeteria, and I had an idea because we had all these older kids that are 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. And I do very elementary cooking with the younger kids, and I know that they need to be challenged a little more. What did I tell you have to do first?
Make the cupcakes in the oven.
Get the cakes in the oven. First things first. hooked on the show Chopped, which is on Food TV, so I figured that maybe we could try it.
We have apple cinnamon mini rice cakes, chocolate mini rice cakes, cinnamon mini rice cakes that are able to be used, blueberries, strawberries, chocolate chips, vanilla wafers, strawberry yogurt, vanilla yogurt, toothpicks. Creative. When we finish, all participants get to have whatever they made, so that's why they have to have enough for their whole group and the judges.
Somebody else should be helping her from 42 seconds. Yeah. You got 42 seconds. Let's go. Help her.
Tick, 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 tick. That's a must. All of the ingredients on, plated. Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stand back, hands up. Get so quiet.
The overall presentation of the plate was a very creative idea. I love how you explained that it looked like a cat, even though I could tell it looked like a cat. The design of the strawberries into whiskers was beautiful. I loved it. It's very creative. The taste of what I assume was the mouth was phenomenal. At first I took a bite without fruit in it and it tasted great, and then I tasted the part that had the fruit in it and it just added that extra flavor, which was fantastic. I definitely give this plate 2 thumbs up. I have no complaints on it.
Also, very creative with the blueberry inside of the strawberry. Very interesting. Overall, great job.
I didn't expect to have blueberry and chocolate chips inside the little cupcakes. Very nice job. Mixture of 2 of my favorite things, fruit and chocolate. Same thing with Mrs. St. Peter. The blueberry hidden inside the strawberry dipped in whipped cream. Unbelievably thought out. Again, I was a little skeptical too with the vanilla wafer whipped cream and the, what'd you call them?
Rice cake.
The rice cakes. But again, you're kind of mixing 2 of my favorite things. The rice cakes almost tasted like popcorn dipped in whipped cream. And 2 of my favorite things mixed together that I didn't expect would work, and they did. Nice job, guys.
All right, boys and girls. This has been another tough one. This female.
This was an extremely tough decision between all 3 judges. All 3 plates were extremely well thought out. They were cooked absolutely to perfection. They tasted absolutely amazing. As you can see, I have all 3 plates behind me. I will be finishing all of them. Our deciding factor, because everything was so consistent as far as taste and creativity throughout the board or throughout the 3 groups, we had to go with presentation. So with that being said, Ms. Cowell?
These 2 have been chopped.
Absolutely unbelievable. Moving forward, if this is something that you guys really want to get into, make sure that your presentation is a little bit more clean cut and you guys would have swept it. Unbelievable job, guys. That creativity was something that set you guys apart from the other 2 groups. Unbelievable job. You guys should be extremely proud of yourselves.
Well, there you have it. Another One North Main in the books. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we enjoyed covering all these wonderful events and great people. To learn more about Brockton Community Access, please visit our website at bcatv.org. You can also check out our YouTube page, youtube.com/The Brockton Channels, all one word. For everyone at One North Main, I'm Jay Miller. We'll see you around town.